All right, you motherfuckers have been standing around long enough. Good evening and welcome to the Late Bit Podcast. I am your intrepid host, the immortal Yell Chaos. Joining me all the way to the left, but actually all the way to the east over there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, my man Alpha Omega Sin.
Hi. I don't have anything witty. Not yet. Give me a couple minutes. I'm still waking up.
All right, and over to my right, way over there in the part of the country where they don't give a good goddamn about daylight savings, Mr. Razor Fist.
I just like to take a brief moment to laugh at your collective expense for having to move your clocks forward. Are you ready? Okay, are we primed? Okay. Let us continue.
Fabulous. And joining us as a special guest, a man who has no choice but to go over babyface, BlueMagus.
I usually make puns, but they've told me that if I try, they will kill me on sight.
See, the boy listens. So welcome to the Hate Bit Podcast. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and good day to you. Thank you for joining us right here on the program. Want to make sure before you do anything else, you need to find all the information down below to find us right here on YouTube. Throw us a subscription and check us out. You know you want to, And if you're not subscribed to this program, make sure you do that. Also, don't forget to check us out on your social media platforms, on Instagram, on the Facebook, on your Twitter, and on that thing with the tits, whatever. I can't. Oh, the Snapchat. I understand we're on the Snapchat now, so check us out over there.
We're on Ric Flair. What is?
Woo! So don't forget to do that. Also, if you have questions, comments, concerns, correspondence of any kind, please drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. Now, without further ado, jumping right into the program, fucking comics. I'm going to go take a nap. Alpha Omegason, take it
away. We tried to tell Yo Chaos that technically we do need him to be able to jump into the fray and at least drop a couple F-bombs and spiteful comments. So it's you're not completely.
I remember when I used to buy paper products.
That's the entire comic book industry.
Back when I went outside and the sun was shining and there wasn't a hole in the ozone layer.
You remember when people used to buy comics in general? Except for, Razor Fist did actually buy a comic, or all of them. All of them.
I bought, check it out, folks. I bought the complete Rocketeer in the slip case with the, look at that slip. Look at, oh yeah, nice and slow. Oh, let's do it. You know what?
And then we get
goes inside.
We get flagged for sexual content. Thank you. That's awesome. At least you had the slipcover on there, so we're practicing safe sex with our comics.
Yeah, fun fact about the Rocketeer. If you've ever watched the Rocketeer movie, if you read the comics, you know his chick, I think she's played by Jennifer Connelly in the movie. She's supposed to be Betty Page in the comics. He was the artist was best friends with Betty Page back in the day, and so he just made the Rocketeer's girlfriend Betty Page. That was it.
That makes him way more awesome now.
It does indeed, doesn't it?
I have the most famous pinup girlfriend.
And also, what also means that movie totally undelivers in the area of tits.
Does a little bit, doesn't it?
If you've seen what Betty Page looks like, you watch that movie, you'll be just a little disappointed.
Okay.
So one strike against the movie.
One of the things that need to be discussed is actually something that Razor Fist knows all about. I'm completely in the dark about all of this. So what exactly is going on with Iron Fist? Because I haven't heard about this, and I feel like I don't want to know, but I have to know.
So for those who are, pretty much everyone knows, on Netflix, they've been cranking out series. First they did Daredevil, then they did Jessica Jones, then the dog shit Luke Cage show, and now they're going to be doing Iron Fist because they did Luke Cage. You got to have Power Man and Iron Fist. That's how that fucking works, man. Even if Luke Cage doesn't have the tiara, because that's some bullshit. And the afro. But it's basically the idea was they were going to make all these shows about the Defenders, street level heroes. I don't know how Iron Fist, a kung fu master, is a street level hero, but there we are. And then they were going to have a great big Justice League team up in the Defenders show, which of course I think they're already shooting, or they may have wrapped up shooting on already. So SJWs got their cuntaloons in a tizzy because Iron Fist, who has always been a white dude, literally since ever, was cast as a white dude. They're mad because we didn't yellow wash a white character. That's literally what they're pissed about. Now, never mind that this is how you know none of these jagoffs have ever picked up a fucking comic book in their ever-loving lives. There's already an Asian kung fu master in fucking Marvel Comics. His name is Shang-fucking-Chi. He's been around since for fucking ever. Roughly around the same time Iron Fist was introduced, Shang-Chi, the fucking deadly hands of kung fu, popped the fuck up. I do not understand this at all. I mean, SJWs do some stupid shit. This is definitely among their stupidest fucking endeavors ever. I do not understand this one.
We just want to point out that Razor Fist, despite the fact it has an expansive vocabulary, is using a very foreign version of the word "some." So, we do not approve of it. But what you're saying does not shock me, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of Marvel-related stuff, especially the actual comics, the things that nobody buys, but all the movies and shows are based off of, that everybody's a big fan of, they keep pandering to this demographic who don't read, don't watch, don't listen, but they're pandering to them, so it's okay to change up all the characters into an entire fucking myriad of other genders and races and whatever the fuck have you to appease them, and then they don't see that reflected in sales. They don't see it reflected in a growing and swelling fan base, and now they're doing it with this. Why has he got to be white? Because he was already white. Well, that's not fair. You don't run anything.
Yeah, it's almost like the people who don't read comics aren't going to start reading your comics. And can we just talk for a second about how the social justice crowd is whinging and whining about a white guy being a martial arts master instead of an Asian guy? Because apparently all Asian people know kung fu now.
Because that's not racist. Like, what the fuck?
And we're also talking about an industry where technically everybody knows how to kick ass.
Yeah, and it's not just. It's one thing if SJWs have a sore asshole about it. All right, it's one thing if they just have a sore asshole about it. But here's the thing: because so many SJWs are fucking writers for goddamn Newsweek and Entertainment Weekly and shit, and they're so led like a fucking dowsing rod by their fucking ideology exclusively, they're negatively reviewing the show based on this. It's hilarious. There are entire reviews, and they're already out, folks, where the writer literally doesn't mention one qualitative aspect of the show whatsoever and just cries about Iron Fist being a white dude like he's always been in the fucking body text of the review. I shit you not.
But think about how many sites out there that we've literally torn the assholes of to the point that they're stitched up to their fucking chin. And they're being paid to write this shit that is then put out there into the ether of the internet. And people read this to go and get an idea of, well, what's this like? Oh, well, I guess it's shit because nobody likes to watch anything for themselves or play anything for themselves. They just go and read something. So if the entire industry is extremely offended and bothered by something and nobody wants to read between the lines and actually see that the headline in the very first fucking paragraph is literally just filled to the brim and boiling over of bullshit, and it's nothing but social fucking cuckery content that's just splayed out on your fucking screen. I mean, this doesn't shock me. It just fucking pisses me off because this is how you get people who are really talented and make them want to fucking quit.
Yeah, Stuart Townsend, the actor behind Iron Fist, Stuart Townsend, who's a very good actor, he basically quit Twitter over this bullshit because people were just inundating his fucking feed with all this nonsense. I just don't understand what these SJWs think they're going to gain. Like, just because your coverage is slanted doesn't make you Asian. But mild racism to start off the Hate Bit podcast.
Well,
here
I mean, think about it. It's racism, but they're saying that they're bitching about something being racist while they themselves are being racist.
Yeah.
So something that's not racist, We're talking about let's get something out of the fucking way. We're talking about a fictional world.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a fictional world filled with fictional characters going on fictional adventures, fighting other fictional characters, and you were pissed off that the skin color of this person is accurate to the source material, and you think that's racist. And the people that are bitching about it the most are the same skin color.
Yeah.
So,
and the ones who think thimble deep about it, the SJW writers who actually think about it in any appreciable regard, they try to go super deep with it. Oh, well, it's just a microcosm of the infantilization of Asian culture and the trope wherein a white male goes to Asia and learns kung fu shit in comics. And I'm like, so wait, you have a problem with every fucking comic and pulp story where someone has gone to Asia to learn some shit? So you don't like The Shadow, you don't like Batman, you don't like Daredevil, you don't like Elektra, who they celebrate as a feminist fucking icon? Like, how many fucking kids? Let's make a fucking checklist, asshole. Let's see how committed you are to this fucking bullshit.
Well,
I don't really understand like why they're throwing the hate at Iron Fist. Like, I know it's not out yet, and I'm going to reserve my judgment for this. It could actually be a pretty bad Netflix show. I'm hoping it's going to be good because I'm a big Iron Fist fan, and not just because his name is also Danny. But I like his character, I like his origins, and I'm a big fan of the Luke Cage and Iron Fist series, or Power Man and Iron Fist, if you want to call it that, the really goofy one. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and Luke Cage pal around in Netflix. And mind you, I pretty much dropped everything Marvel because I've gotten sick of their bullshit lately. But I'm thinking of turning on my Netflix subscription and watching the Iron Fist as it debuts, just to give it an unbiased, optimistic look, just to spite these people. And I think talking about SJWs is a bit passe right now. That's why I don't do it on my channel. But it just seems to me like they're outraged over nothing, and the reviewers who got their hands on the early copies are just more people expecting the Jessica Jones, Luke Cage kind of thing instead of another white guy being awesome like Daredevil is.
I find it to be bizarre that we have a bunch of people who are bitching to sound like they're deep. And you're about as deep as the entire script to Suicide Squad. Here you are. Still like throwing this, literally chucking shit at the wall. Well, someone out there, I mean, you agree with that, right? I mean, it's clearly racist. And Razor Fist had pointed out the fucking obvious, which if you don't need to follow the fucking breadcrumb trail, it is a goddamn plain as day disaster trail of them not knowing shit about the stuff that they're talking about.
Oh yeah, and worse still, when you light the virtue signal, who does it draw? It draws other SJWs, not comic book readers. And here's the problem. Now they are hiring people who fall into this phylum. So you get people like Nick Spencer, who haven't read a fucking word of Captain America comics before they start using his comic to proselytize publicly. And now, think about Nick Spencer is writing several comics. He has not read most Marvel characters. He started out as a politician and a lawyer. He's not even that much of a comic fan. And then when he runs his mouth, you know, people fucking wonder why the fans get upset with him. I mean, he's taking a lot of shit on Twitter, and he's honestly playing the victim.
I find it kind of weird.
A social justice advocate playing the victim. That's new. Never heard that before.
Well, they do play that role to some acclaim.
I didn't even know that about Nick Spencer. Like, I just knew that when I've read his writing, he's two things: wordy and pretentious. Oh, okay, three things. He likes to make pop culture jokes, and he thinks he's hilarious. Battlestar John Galtica, because Ayn Rand or something.
No offense, but those are all tenets of you know, well, just being a dick. Never mind.
Hey, Yell Chaos said something about comics.
Like, I happen to know a thing or two about pretentiousness. I've been on this show for 5 fucking years.
That's true. I just feel bad that we have an industry that's like nearing, you know, three quarters of a century, and for many of these franchises, and you've got a lot of people who are coming in and destroying it at the expense of just trying to impress nobody. It's like, look, I want to be offended just to be offended, and I'm going to go and use this platform right here. And it kind of fucks me up, and it makes me sad because you love this stuff so much, but it's the powers that be. Yay. So that's I hope that the show is so fucking good that it eclipses everything that they've ever done prior, so that they eventually have to go and jump on the bandwagon of fans. Because they will. The minute that everybody else out there doesn't give a shit about their glorified fucking BS that they're spouting the entire time, they will act as if they never said it, and then they will find things to go and say and give it glowing fucking reviews and pedal backwards, because make no mistake, they won't be the first and they won't be the last to eat their own fucking words. And that's in a nutshell. Fuck them.
It's just I really don't get the outrage against it. I really don't. These people who don't read comics.
There's nothing to be outraged about. There's fucking nothing to be outraged about. That's one of the reasons why most people fucking look at them with the Michael Myers fucking head tilt. Just wonder what the fuck are you going on about? I mean, it's a prime example of people that never got their ass beat when they were younger, when they should have. And you were always told that you're fucking number one, that you're really good at things, and you were told that you were smart when you clearly weren't. And
I just got reminded of something,
now they're functioning adults. Use as many fucking quotations as you possibly can on that one until you are going and scraping into the fucking dirt.
I just got reminded of something. This is a bit of a horrifying prospect, but okay, they're mad about Danny Rand being cast by a white actor because he's fucking white. But now there's this big movement online to try and get Dick Grayson, Nightwing, to be cast by an Asian actor.
Yeah,
Dick Grayson.
There's literally going to be no end to all of this. And it's like, well, we run the industry. I'm like, you don't. I mean, you're fans, and I get that.
How do you? Yeah, I guess you'd have to account for the name. I guess he would have to turn into Nightwang, wouldn't he? Like, there's not really no two ways about it.
So we were talking about the fact that Danny's not supposed to bring up all the puns and stuff, but man, Nightwang has too many puns. Too many.
Hey, hang on a second here. Razor, you made that joke on your channel before. That you recycled that. I've heard you call
it's because before. Actually it's hilarious because there's a story. There's actually a story around Nightwing. I was working at the comic store and there was a coworker. It was Halloween, and he was talking it up for years, literally 4 years. I'm gonna dress as Nightwing on Halloween one year, and finally this Halloween he had made his Nightwing outfit. The problem was he made it with really, really thin spandex. You could see this guy's entire dick through his Nightwing outfit. And so all day, me and my coworkers were just calling him Nightwing. All day. He had to put on shorts. It was really embarrassing. Anyway.
He is vengeance. He is the Night. He's not Batman, but he's turning that ambiguously gay duo joke into a literal thing.
So long as he isn't an extremely limber fellow who's trying to play up the role as accurately as possible, because between Spider-Man and Nightwing, I don't know which one of them, but they are always ankles to ears jumping through the air, and it'd be fucking terrible, because at that point, I'm just like, that's, even if you're 10 feet away, it's still rape.
Yeah, but nobody has Nightwing's suspiciously pert ass. There is just something about those glutes.
Dude, that was one of the things that, like, when they were talking about, oh man, they're trying to go and make a Nightwing movie, which I'm dying inside well before I see anything, because I have no fucking hope for it.
Oh, what's that? A Nightwing movie with no setup whatsoever? Fantastic. This'll end well.
That'll be great. It fucks me up.
Maybe they can recreate Battle for Bloodhaven, where he's not even in the fucking story, but it's still about Nightwing somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe they can just take his fucking mask off, and they're just like, look, now you're like a secret agent. There we go. This is good, right? We just brought you back. We just brought you back. Everybody was happy.
It was apropos that they dropped chemo on Bloodhaven at the end of that comic because that entire goddamn story was cancer.
maybe that's why they call the character Chemo.
Yeah.
It's okay. So who here has seen Logan?
I have not. Taron Gell, however, has assured me that it's really good. He went to watch it and said it was badass. Apparently, it's like breaking records and shit.
I did like a quick review of it on my channel, and I saw it. It was really good, actually. It's very, very brutal.
That's
like,
even better.
It's not the PG-13 Wolverine that we've seen up to now. It's got its fair share of blood and guts, and it's glorious.
That's how it should be, though. Wolverine and the Punisher are two characters not only do I like a lot, but they should always be handled as violently as humanly possible. Because holding back on them, it's not worth it. It's not. And the Daredevil TV show proved, here's the actual Punisher. This is the shit that we've been pining for, and it worked out great. And you're also listening to somebody who's like, what's your favorite Punisher comics? Punisher Max. Well, that says a lot. You're kind of fucked. And Logan is pretty much they use the source material of Old Man Logan, which is one of my more favorite Wolverine stories, and it's good as fuck. And if you read that, it's just carnage the entire time. No pun intended with that one. It is fucking brutal, and I'm gonna be going and seeing it this weekend. Unfortunately, the ending got spoiled for me, but you kind of already know what's going to happen if you gave a shit, so it's whatever. But yeah, I'm excited. You said it was breaking records. Do you know what exactly?
No, I had just seen like random headlines about it breaking like comic book movie opening, right? I think it was for the opening for the movie. That it had broken some kind of record. I don't know. There's a lot of fucking records at this point to break, so that's pretty impressive if so, because, you have the Dark Knight that shattered all those goddamn
Their
records.
opening had more SJW attendance than any other Logan film before it.
Yes.
Holy crap, that means they're actually going out and buying comic book related stuff?
I said they were there. I didn't say that they were buying the stuff.
Yeah, they got comped.
Because if they didn't, they would complain. We weren't comped. We were treated differently.
I'm excited about it. It's just the one video that's going around and now has kind of been turned into a shit ton of memes is when they were showing the voiceover recording of Hugh Jackman doing the portions of him like running and killing shit. The only part of it that's not funny is when you see some of the comments going, well, why didn't they just use the voiceovers from when he's doing it? And then I die inside because I'm like, you don't understand anything about anything at all. But seeing that they've been replacing the footage the entire time. There's been once of Minecraft. There's been once of Super Mario Brothers, like a bunch of shit. And it's all been wonderful. But watching him do it, I got... Okay, in Step Brothers where he's like all sweaty and like, oh, what's wrong with you? Like, oh, I was watching Cops. I felt winded watching Hugh Jackman do voiceover acting. I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, oh, I got my fucking workout, brother. Just watching that.
Yeah, you for a moment you forgot that he's a gay Australian.
I could never look at his face. That dude, every time he flexes, I feel that he channels his inner Bruce Lee because he has no fucking body fat anymore.
He is, it's funny. Hugh Jackman is an underrated as fuck action movie actor. Seriously. Like, he is like if Clint Eastwood fucked Charles Bronson. Seriously.
Did you describe your porn?
Yeah, you just described my favorite porn film.
Dude, now I want to see him just dual wield like guns from both respective movies.
Hang on. I think there would be a there'd be a good sex position there. Just be called the Dirty Harry.
Yeah, they just have to change the spelling and you're good.
I don't think I'm never gonna look at him the same ever again. Like, I shit you not, every time I look at him, I'm just gonna be like, there it is, the merging of both of those dirty dick worlds. Just
no, it's perfect. You can even reuse lines from the film. Did I fire six shots or only 5? I'm just saying.
Dude, you want to know what? Hollywood has been riding hard on the whole concept and idea of taking actors kind of like, I guess, like ones who are middle-aged but look like they can still pass for maybe like 30, and then just tossing them into everything. And if they're going to do that with Jackman, fine. But just know this. Despite all the crap that we talked about Marvel fucking up, there will not be any bigger fuck up than when they have to cast the next Wolverine.
Yeah.
So,
there's no way. Because what are they gonna do? Cast Ryback? You know, like I could see it. They'll do
he's a
something.
Motivational speaker, by the way.
Marvel.
I'm horrified at the prospect.
I always figured he'd be a good Galactus because Galactus is the eater of worlds and Ryback is the eater of everything.
That's true.
And he's apparently the eater of ratings.
Yeah,
he's also apparently the eater of everything in existence because I understand it cost him like $1,100 a day just to eat on the road.
Yeah, and which makes sense. The new Silver Surfer comic is the eater of dicks. So let's
see. Not bad. We currently right now that's the world's shittiest buffet.
You've clearly never been to Circus in Las Vegas. That is the shittiest buffet in the world.
The new Wonder Woman trailer dropped. I watched it. It looked very good. I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked, by the way. Just like legitimately shocked because DC so desperately needs this to work. It's not even funny. And aside from Lego Batman, which I just consider its own thing. It was already destined for fucking greatness on its own. But they need this to work so fucking bad. And this comes from somebody that I love DC Comics. I really do. There's so much there that is fucking good that I grew up with. But Wonder Woman's something that I've been wanting to see on the big screen for a long time. Sure, we had the television show, and it's campy, and it's enjoyable for what it is.
Yeah. But here's just to bring this all into focus for you, so you can understand how supremely fucked DC is. It's all come down to a Wonder Woman movie. That's what it's. Well, if a Wonder Woman movie doesn't work, they're fucked.
Yeah, someone's sitting in an office somewhere. It's full of women. How could they not like it? It's just women. That Ghostbusters thing was good, wasn't it? Oh,
look.
Okay. Wonder Woman's actually was always a woman, not women playing what was originally male characters, because Paul Feig is about as creative as Nick Spencer is.
Yeah.
Not at all. So I'm giving Wonder Woman the benefit of the doubt. I thought the trailers looked really good, and I actually saw BVS in theaters, and I thought Gal Gadot was badass as Wonder Woman for what little screen time she had.
Yeah.
So I think she has a lot of momentum going in, and I think it'll probably do well. It looks good. So far, everything I've heard about it has been good.
I am morally opposed to how she pronounces her last name.
It looks like Gadot.
You find her pronunciation morally reprehensible?
It is Godot, goddammit. What the fuck? You're like Godot, you rube. Jesus Christ.
I speak one language, and I speak Americanese.
Merkin.
Hey, man, stage names don't come with manuals. It's not her fault.
It's true.
I hope this does well. It's weird because they got the whole DC Comics trinity of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Batman currently right now on a creative level is going through the fucking ringer and then going back for seconds and thirds. So not only am I worried about that, I'm just going to give up on it until it comes out, and then I can go and give up again because I want to go back for seconds.
I just want it to succeed so we don't have fucking the next 20 years Joss Whedon fanboys running their mouths. They should have used that script. They should have used that script. They should have used Whedon's script. Jesus Christ, how insufferable will that be?
And one thing that was brought up earlier before we got to do this is apparently Superman is going to have a change in direction, and who's going to be helming that?
Oh, yeah, the next Superman film, apparently Warner Brothers does not want Zack Snyder to come back, and they're looking at the director for X-Men First Class as the director for the next Superman film. So, yeah, apparently a change of direction. Apparently they were sick of looking at gray.
I'm shocked that the guy that hits the single home run and then strikes out for the rest of his entire fucking career is not looked at as being like, yeah, let's go with this fucking guy here. Look, Superman should be the shit in movie form. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. There is so much fucking potential there. Because I know for some people, they're like, Superman's boring. I'm like, you haven't read a single fucking comic and it kills me. Shut the fuck up.
Well, think about it. In movie form, it doesn't really matter that he's boring because you can just have him do a bunch of shit. And it's cool.
Yeah, that.
Like, look at Superman Returns. What a fucking turd, right? But
It was boring.
But the airplane scene was cool. If you have a whole movie of fucking airplane scenes, suddenly it's like, hey, that Superman movie was all right. You know,
That's kind of why I like Man of Steel, because when it got past the boring stuff that he was doing, and it got to him throwing down with generals on his arm and his guys, it was awesome. They were fucking clocking each other like hypersonic speeds, and it was fun. I like when Superman's actually a badass.
See, that's where the movie succeeded, was him being super.
Yeah.
And people bitched about that. Oh, well, he shouldn't be doing this and he shouldn't be doing that. People reading deep into things. I'm like, stop. Fucking stop. For the love of God, just shut the fuck up. You bitched and complained that it was boring, that he wasn't doing super things. Now when he's doing a bunch, it's too... What the fuck did you expect?
They want realism from a series that features a guy who came from a planet that blew up.
Yeah, in red underpants.
And he hangs out with a guy dressed as a bat.
Yeah.
The shit that kills me is if you watch something like, I don't know, if you watch like Civil War, for example, a good portion of that movie is one huge fucking fight scene.
Yeah.
Of people just doing super things. Guess what? That was fucking awesome, and I loved every minute of it, and everybody else seemed to. When Superman does it, and it's just as fucking cool, you bitch and complain. I don't fucking get that. So if all we need to do is just clear up the other problems, like pacing and scripts and shit like that. But if you can get the action down, good. You've already got that. So that's one important element already done. I do think that they have a good Superman, so we've got that taken care of.
Yeah.
There. Look.
And that was fundamentally, and still remains, the fundamental problem with Zack Snyder. He's an action film director who is convinced he's a fucking societal auteur. He wants to make it serious and have brooding treatises about the nature of human existence, and that's when his movies go to
because
shit.
that's how you set yourself up for sequels, which is a good way to get someone to pay you to say the same shit over and over again.
Yeah,
he's a really
That's a gig I need myself.
Strategy, but I would think he would get more work if he just made cool shit that people liked and wanted to come back for seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, what's better? A dinner plate that looks really good, looks like a delicious flaming omelet. When you bite into it, it tastes like shit, or a really damn good pizza that you just want to keep buying every week.
That's honestly what I live off of. Pizza, ramen, and cereal. So,
well, look at all the fucking video games. I'm not surprised.
It's all I need is more Mountain Dew and Doritos, and I'm pretty much good to go. Cheesy tipped fingers and beating off to hentai. So then I can go with every cliche in the entire world. so there. Before Yell Chaos ends up passing out and fucking dying of comic book boredom. There. That's any other last words? Oh, by the way, I want to point out that you look like Spoonie's evil twin from a different fucking universe, by the way. I needed to point that out. I didn't get to earlier, but I just want to hear you be pissed off about a board game or some shit so bad.
Okay, I can make Spoonie have a heart attack because I actually like this.
Oh, okay. Dear. See, I was right. You are the evil twin. Yeah, I was successful. All right. That wasn't just an assumption, folks. Jesus Christ, you actually have that.
Mega spooning.
Yeah, that's that.
It's actually, I'll actually take the Spoonie comparison because I mostly get compared to Maisie Williams in Game of Thrones.
Holy shit! Yeah. Wow.
Shouldn't have said it.
Dude, now I can't make it. I can't unsee that shit.
Okay, I was here before her. She looks like me. Dang it.
It's, you know what? It doesn't matter. Now you're gonna have a whole bunch of Game of Thrones fans who are beating off to you until you turn 18, and then it's just off the fucking cards. So
I'm 25.
Yeah. Tell your story, walking kid.
yeah, I was gonna say, sure you are, dear child.
All right, well, that's enough of the goddamn
my baby
comic books.
face.
You people in your fucking Superman and the shit and the thing and Margot Kidder, and I know it was you. So, also, I wanted to mention right here on the program that everybody fucking died. Did you hear about this? Again, everybody fucking died. We lost Chavo Guerrero. We lost George the Animal Steel. We lost the Russian Bear Ivan
Was it
Koloff.
Chavo Guerrero Sr.?
Chavo Guerrero Sr., Chavo
Okay.
Classic, as he was known.
I was about to say.
I was going to say, if Plugs McKenzie fucking died, what the shit?
What am I going to do without Kerwin White?
We don't want whitewashed Chavo Guerrero Jr., who, damn it, for all of his attempts, could not get over with anybody, despite the fact being linked up with Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, and it just...
It's a shame because he was a great wrestler. He was actually really good.
Dude,
But
they gave him a
His
microphone
problem
and all was
you know,
lost.
he had a really he was in a really, really big shadow and had some really big boots to fill.
Yeah, but he was getting over in WCW. And
Yeah,
then...
He would come out in WCW with like floaty toys around his waist. He would not. He was not over.
Dude, when they had him like obsessively stalking Eddie Guerrero, and they had that weird feud, and it was a really strange feud the way that they built it up, but I liked it because it was different. I thought that was really good, and they put on some cool shit. It's just that whenever he came over, they're like, okay, you are going to emulate everything that Eddie Guerrero says, and it's weird because if you took all their promos and all their skits and you took Chavo out, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. Well,
it made no
folks, we've
fucking
confirmed it here. Alpha Omega Sin is an LWO mark. Confirmed. We've confirmed it here.
I like the fact that they came out on a lawnmower, so I can't help myself there. So we had all these deaths in how many days?
That all happened in a week.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Yay.
Yeah, how about that? And I love how we paid tribute to Chavo Guerrero Sr. by shitting on his son.
Yeah.
That's how we do it right here on this classy program.
Yeah.
I actually don't know
I'm sorry, what?
I actually don't know a lot about Chavo Senior. He was before my time, obviously. But
he was great. He was around when wrestlers actually didn't have to file for fucking food stamps.
He was there when they could draw more than 5 people to a house show.
Yeah, he was there before fluorescent light tubes.
Oh god.
Both literally and in professional wrestling. That's old. That's way back when.
We shouldn't bring up 5 people in attendance because TNA is still restructuring and rebranding. So
Yeah, that's Impact Wrestling.
I don't know. They've got the big owl or bird or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be, and they've got Jeff Jarrett at the helm, so that should do well.
Yeah, because Jeff Jarrett knows everything about being a fake country singer.
Wait, seriously? I thought he was doing Global Force Wrestling.
The Global Force Wrestling became Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, he was doing Global Force. It's weird because it's like, so he made TNA Impact Wrestling, then he just left and was off doing something else, and then it gets scooped up and bought because this thing's being handed around by everybody, and eventually he gets it back, and now they're just
well,
like,
he didn't
okay,
get it. He didn't get it back. The company that owns something called the Fight Network.
Well, they got him in charge. So
yeah. So Anthem Broadcasting bought the place, and then what they did was they hired the whole Global Force Wrestling. They hired their office to be the new TNA office. So him and Dutch Mantel and those people are there.
It's a lot better than them bringing in Eric Bischoff and him just doing what Eric Bischoff does, and that's take everything that he did in WCW and hope that it works well with different people.
Not only that, it keeps Dixie Carter miles away from anything athletic for the rest of my life.
Man, Jesus
Thankfully,
Christ.
that lady was what was actually killing TNA, not the low attendance numbers.
Well, no, it's actually she gave a bunch of her father's money to that company, and I can't. I don't know how Joe Carter's still alive. If I had thrown away $10 billion to have my daughter powder her nose, I think I would have died already.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she had to go back to designing women. I don't know. But at least she's gone. Hey, nobody got that reference. Fuck you. Designing Women was a fine sitcom. Blow me.
They weren't here. That was before the show with the Golden Girls shit. You're too late.
Hey, Designing Women was fine if you were up at 5 a.m. because that's the only fucking time that shit came on. And when I was a kid and I watched it, I had no idea what was going on. But they had them in their extremely shoulder padded suits, all sitting around talking about shit, and I'm just like, these bitches are just fucking horny and drunk. This is before Sex in the City, so they were doing it first.
It was the direct model for The View, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
That's gross. That just makes me think of, well, we talked about social justice warriors, and it's just
Yes, but with that having been said, a bunch of wrestlers fucking died, which brings me to some other good news. Suda51, just the other day, announced that Fire Pro Wrestling returns this coming holiday for PC and PlayStation 4, and that's all, these motherfuckers. And then he decided to tell everybody that he's not going to be fucking involved in it. See ya. Talk to these people. And then, and I'm not clear on whether it is Spike Chunsoft that's handling the whole thing, but it looks to be really neat, and I haven't seen anything from it. But you want to talk about a game that will knock your fucking dick in. Yeah. It's Fire Pro Wrestling. Fire Pro Wrestling is so difficult that I don't even play it anymore because it just makes me mad. I just make it wrestle itself, and that's a real good time. Which brings me into something very interesting. Alpha Omega Sin decided that we should really talk about the hardest game levels in our collective experience. And
there's so many.
There's so many.
Okay. So I'm just going to start off with one, and it's an obscure as fuck reference, but I don't give a shit because this particular stage has kept me from ever beating the game, and I still can't, and I've been playing it since it came out. And that's a very underrated, unknown shooter from Working Designs, no less, and it's called Elemental Gearbolt. An Elemental Gearbolt is an on-rail shooter, I shit you not, RPG.
What?
On-rail shooter, RPG. Those aren't things. Those aren't things, but they made it a thing, and it really fucking works. You actually get experience and money, and you use it to go and build up one of two different types of stats. You switch between three different elements of fire, lightning, and I think ice. I forgot off the top of my head. But each one's like a shotgun, one's like machine gun, that sort of deal. So it's really good, cool-ass fantasy setting. The storyline is completely forgettable. Just get through the fucking cutscenes. They're stupid as shit and poorly translated. But there's a stage with this boss who looks like the ship from the original Independence Day. When a boss shows up on screen, its life bar starts showing up like this. Yeah. So it'll start filling up at the top of the screen. Well, when he shows up on screen, you can start shooting him before his life bar even begins appearing. So you can just start wailing away on him. He doesn't fucking care. It is like a solid minute of them just showing his life bar, still showing up. And you're just firing away. This motherfucker, and no, it just keeps going. And you keep firing, and it doesn't matter. And you might think to yourself, well, just go in 2-player mode because there's two of you, and you'll be... No. This is one of those games where if you have a second player, they crank up the difficulty to some god-tier level. And guess what? If you want to beat the game, they don't let you beat it on easy. They don't let you beat it on normal. You have to play it on hard. Because the minute that you get so far in easy, they're just like, yeah, now go play it on normal. This is old-school gaming mentality for certain developers. They're like, oh, that's cute. You thought you beat the game. You didn't. You're a fucking loser. Yeah. Now actually play it.
It's like playing a beat 'em up back in the day, 2-player, and then your friend decides to puss out and go away, and now you, single player, have to deal with twice as many enemies because the game spawns more fucking people. Fuck you.
The Battletoads effect, as it were.
Oh my god.
The boss itself is one huge target. So it's impossible for you to miss because it takes up half the fucking screen. The problem with it is it just shoots tons of enemies at you. So it's not firing projectiles, it just shoots enemies, and the enemies are shooting shit at you. And it's tons of them, barrages. Keep in mind, I am a fucking on-roll shooter pro. Every single one of them I've played, I have beaten.
Especially Silent Hill, the arcade game.
Well, you know what? I tried to play that. The only time I came across it, half the fucking screen was dead. So the left-hand portion of the screen, stuff would show up on it, but the gun wouldn't recognize it.
Oh
so I ended up dying. Holy fuck, what a bad game. I would love to own it. So bad. Need to own it. It is fucking terrible. But that boss has... It's weird because me and both my best friends, we grew up playing this game. We've never been able to beat this boss. If you look up Let's Plays of it, you'll see other people beat it. I just safely assume they're cheating because you can't actually do that. There is no beating it. It has to be like an error in the programming. I refuse to accept that you can beat that. It's just, no. It's sorcery, selling your fucking soul to the devil, some shit like that. That's all. Fuck that stage. Fuck that boss.
Shit with the life bar reminds me of the original Breath of Fire. So for those who don't remember, in Breath of Fire, this was one of the bullshit things about Breath of Fire. I love that game, but it's complete bullshit. So your enemies have life, but this is just an RPG, right? Turn-based RPG. Now, what's the rule in an RPG? You knock the guy's HP down. He has X number of HP. Once that HP goes down to 0, he dead. Right? That's the fucking deal. That's how Breath of Fire and any other RPG is supposed to work. Not Breath of Fire, motherfucker. The life bar goes down, and then it says, he got up. And then there's this tiny little pellet of life, and he just sits there like, no, bitch. He no-sells death. and then it's amazing. So the hardest part in that game, it's not the final boss. It's not like the semi-final, the semi-main event or any of the mini-bosses that you have to fight. It's a fucking gremlin that you have to fight. There's this stone robot, right? And you have to get the key from this dungeon, and then the key operates this stone robot because you got to use its fucking laser eye to blow a hole in a volcano. It's amazing. And right when you get to the very top, you have to climb up this stone robot fighting enemies, and you get to the fucking cockpit, I guess, where you have to stick the key in and whatever. And there's a dude, like a knight there, and he's just like, what do you mean, why am I here? I'm just a random knight, and I'm a dick. And then when you show up and you're like, hey, what are you doing here? He turns into a goddamn gremlin. And you fight him, and his health goes down real fast, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a fucking breeze. This is going to be fantastic. And then it says, the gremlin got up. And no fucking shit, the first time I played this, I was over at my friend's house, and we spent like 4 hours just wailing away at this dude. We were passing the controller back and forth. I would just go get something to fucking eat. I took a nap. And when I woke up, he was still fighting this fucking boss. It was amazing.
The thing, when you started mentioning Breath of Fire, I was like, I know where this is going. I know this is where... I had played Breath of Fire 1 after I had played like 2 and 3. And I remember going back to it. I'm like, I'm glad this mechanic never came back. I'm so glad this shit... Because I'm sorry, but when you're in the middle of... You're going through a fucking dungeon, and you're just like, well, I just went through all of my fucking item reserves. I'm dying. Like, I'm actually dying. And you get to the boss, and this boss is fucking you. It just straight up fucking you. And it is not good. Sandpaper, condom, and fucking all. And this is an olden time, so you were already getting hit with all sorts of fucking STDs that we've outgrown. Well, then all of a sudden, it just pops back up. I'm like, what are you? Like, you were like vintage Undertaker phenom, like popping back up. I'm like, are you fucking serious, dude? I just hit you with everything, and you don't care. Like, and then when they do have no health, they just absorb your hits. Their bar stays the fucking same, and you're like,
yeah, and it doesn't move. That's the thing. It's just a little pellet. It doesn't. You can wail on this fucker for an hour and a half. That pellet does not move at all. He's just. I just don't get the no-selling death thing. Like, what is he just like? Fuck death? What is that nonsense? Hand me the Robitussin.
dude,
I'll take
And his
care of
name
this
is
shit.
John Cena.
Yeah, no shit.
it just kills me because you're a team of badasses and you're all super strong, and then you go in and you're like, well, that gremlin had my number. Good shit.
Good.
Glad that's what happened. I'll save the world.
There has to be a trick for that. There has to be a way to beat him. Like, how do you kill the gremlin? You just keep hitting him till he eventually
You
drops.
do. You just keep wailing on him. You have to be prepared for it. That's what makes it so hard. Every boss before and after this dude is 1,000 times easier than this guy. He comes out of fucking nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So you're not like, oh shit, here comes a really hard boss. I better stock up on potions and acorns and shit so I can have enough health and magic. No. So you just get blindsided by this bitch.
I just no. It's horrors like that. Just that fucking kills me, and it makes me so sad. Oh, you know what, Danny? What? Name anything, any fucking level, any stage, whatever the fuck. Because you're the guest.
Yes.
Anything that you think is just ridiculously too much.
Roman Reigns.
I can't top that, but I'll try. Just too much. Let's see. How about the entirety of Art of Fighting 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Like, no particular level. Those games
Fighting game AI, that's the thing about fighting game AI. If you don't get fighting game AI right, like if you don't at least pretend that you don't know the exact buttons that the player's pushing and how to counter them in that moment, it can just turn into like, oh, what's that? You wanted to punch? Well, I'm in a low kick because you're open. You know what I mean? And then the game's just complete bullshit. You know, like SNK bosses. Perfect. There is literally a syndrome. This is named after that is named after this SNK boss syndrome. Everyone's heard of this.
Yeah, I've beaten Fatal Fury 1. I've beaten Fatal Fury 3. I can't beat 2 in Special. I've beaten Real Bout Special. I've beaten Real Bout 1 and 2. But I've only beaten one Art of Fighting game, and that's Art of Fighting 3, and I got a review for that in the back burner right now. But Art of Fighting 1 and 2 are impossible. In fact, there's actually a clip on YouTube right now. It's the final boss of Art of Fighting 1. The guy's playing Ryo. He's against Mr. Karate. He's doing pretty well, actually. He throws out a taunt. Mr. Karate throws out a super, and one hit kills him. He was at max health. I am dead serious. He's like, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
Dead. And guess what?
That reminds me of the biggest SNK boss syndrome I ever encountered was actually in a Dead or Alive game. Have any of you guys played DOA 4?
No, actually, I haven't played DOA since it got obsessed with volleyball and boob physics.
So since the very beginning, then.
Yes.
No. So at the end of that game, you fight a buck-ass naked Ayane made out of like green gel. She looks like she's made out of Listerine. And this bitch proceeds to push your asshole in. It is this boss is fucking impossible. It's ridiculous. It took me fucking hours. You can look up footage on freaking YouTube, but it is absolutely absurd. Completely beyond the pale.
I'll check into that. But I know in Art of Fighting 2, Geese Howard, a younger Geese Howard, is in the game as a secret boss. And how you get to him is a monumental feat of difficulty. I don't know how anybody ever did this since the dawn of time. You have to get to him by not losing a single round at all. For the record, in my review of Art of Fighting 2, shameless plug, I went through 15 tries before I could beat the first enemy in the game. That's 30 rounds. I couldn't beat her twice until the very end. And I'm a tournament player in fighting games, okay? I play a lot of old school fighters. I say what you want about Street Fighter 4. I played that in tournaments. I played King of Fighters 14 in tournaments. I made top 8 for my first Blaze Blue tournaments. I'm a very good fighting game player. I couldn't beat the first person, and it was Yuri Sakazaki. I couldn't beat her until 15 tries later.
God damn.
The salt was real. It made low-tier God look like the most... It made low-tier God salt levels look like Daigo Umehara. And I don't mean Third Strike Daigo. I mean modern-day cool as a cucumber Daigo.
There's one SNK boss that I always was haunted by. I always forget how you say his name. Was it Rugal?
Rugal.
So, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? So,
That's the
as a kid, I came across Neo Geo arcade cabinets pretty frequently in my neighborhoods and would play them. And I was playing all sorts of different games because they were multi-cabs. And some of them would be King of Fighter arcade cabinets. And would have a blast until he would show up. And they've got multiple incarnations of this motherfucker. So it's not just one, they've got several. And you know how there's like Evil Ryu and Violent Ken? Yeah, they've got versions like that of him, and Jesus fucking Christ, it's not even fair. The way that he moves around on screen, no, it's fucking bullshit. I remember screaming and raging at some of this stuff because I'm like, what the fuck? Doing well up until that. And it's not even like the game's got your number. The game just doesn't give a shit about you. It doesn't want you to put in more quarters. It wants you to quit. Just straight up.
SNK game.
It is so fucking brutal, man. Oh my god. No, pure hatred. Pure hatred. And it sucks because when you even get to go and control him, you can't do that shit. You can't do any of that. Guilty Gear does the same fucking shit. Plenty of their final bosses, they had specific versions that are just godlike. The minute that you get them, no. Oh, you had Dizzy? Oh, no. Oh, you had Testament? No. Like, oh, you got Justice? No. Granted, Testament wasn't really like final boss, but you know what I mean. But it's just one of those things like, what the fuck, man? It's a forgotten aspect. Difficult.
It's a forgotten aspect of SNK boss syndrome, wherein when they're bosses, they're unbeatable whirlwinds of death. But when you unlock them and play them, they're just meh. They're just meh. Yeah, so they turn down the damage, they turn down the HP, they turn down a lot of the moves you can use for them. That's just the unforgotten part of SNK boss syndrome, and it's ridiculous. They've been doing it since Fatal Fury 1.
I mean, they kind of had to do it because if you don't nerf those characters, someone's just going to pick that character, and because they're broken and unbalanced as fuck, they'll just sit there and button mash their way to victory, which will not take much effort whatsoever because that's kind of just hit one button, watch their fucking health deplete into nothingness and never return.
Did you mean MVC 2? Did you mean Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
No. I you know what? I haven't fucking ever beaten that at all.
Okay, here's how you beat it. Pick Storm, Sentinel, and somebody else. Game's over.
Oh, I mean, well, Sentinel is kind of just like broken, just forever.
Storm is also broken. That game is extremely unbalanced. Like, it's fun to play, but if you look up every single turn bracket, you'll notice that everybody in the top 8 picks Storm, Sentinel, and some other person. Doesn't even matter most of the time. Huh. I mean, you'll see Magneto, Cyclops, their frequents. Cable every now and then, but for the most part, it's Storm, Sentinel, and who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Chaos, you've been quiet. I know that you have to have at least a couple brewing inside.
Yeah, you've played too many early NES fucking games to not have.
Well, sure, you could say. I mean, you could say the fucking entirety of Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh Christ!
But I was actually going to say one that I've played a few times, and I don't know why. Sega's F-18 Strike Eagle in the arcade. Every last aspect of that fucking game is basically like spitting in your mouth. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck. What, you want to shoot a missile? You want a missile? Take this missile and stick it up your ass. You want to shoot the machine gun? You take the machine gun, stick it up your sister's ass. Fuck every last bit about you. You want to go up? Well, that's too goddamn bad.
What a fucking great game, though.
I've never played it in an arcade.
It's great if you can find someone who knows what they're doing, but all those guys are dead.
I know. And most of them were killed by the game.
I mean, if you cannot actually fly a fucking 747, you're not doing anything with this game. Fuck you, fuck your quarters, fuck your seat. It's just a completely uncooperative game, period. It's not so much that it's hard. It's uncooperative. It doesn't like you. It doesn't want to fly. Fuck your mother.
No, yeah. Ace Combat has some of that shit too.
Ace Combat has some of the, when you go to like the simulation modes, same thing. What, do you want to go left? It's like, no, you go way the fuck over there.
or later in the game, later in like Ace Combat 6, when the enemy planes start literally defying physics, they'll just like turn, they'll just stop and turn and do shit like that. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Like they Japan. But I actually forgot. I wanted to mention one because you were talking about fighting games. We talked about Fire Pro Wrestling earlier. Fucking one of the hardest modes I've ever played in any video game ever was in WrestleMania 2000 for the N64. Road to WrestleMania mode, motherfucker. It starts out, you can manage it one-on-one, okay, it's whatever. But a fucking tag team match in that game, after a certain point, it's like the game stops being like, oh, we're going to mildly increase the difficulty. And it's just like, no, bitch, here's the brick wall. Fuck you. You are not winning from this point on. Fuck you. And you literally have to just get to the point where you're counting out every single enemy. You just throw them out of the ring and you wait for the fucking count out and then you win that way. It's the only goddamn way after a certain point. Ridiculous.
That actually reminds me a lot of the game WCW Thunder from back in the day.
Yeah.
I would cheese the fuck out of that game because there was like 50 characters, although they all played pretty much the exact same way. But if you like seeing the undercard guys like Kaz Hayashi or people like that, it was fun to unlock them. And the only way you could do that is by winning championships. You could win via count out, but the referee counted out in two specific ways. And it was a WCW game, so of course you could call in someone from the back to come in. Everyone had a run in, but but all you have to do is turn disqualification off, step outside the ring, they follow you, you pick up a weapon, you bludgeon them with it, and they go down really easily. You call someone in, they come in there, they just start beating the crap out of them. You roll back in the ring, roll back out, and just you and your partner just start fucking like Shaun of the Dead knocking on them with blunt weapons until the ref counts them and only them out. You do that, you could win a title in, no joke, about 3 minutes tops. You can go through every single match like that, and it would. And if you don't play like that, that game's actually pretty hard because the AIs are really good, but in this one way, it makes them stupidly easy. And that's what that WrestleMania 2000 thing reminds me of. I actually need to pick up a copy of that game sometime.
Oh, it's a great game.
I've got a somewhat recent game that I remember getting to. I mean, it was already challenging, but in New Game Plus, that's where you get the meat of the challenge, and then you go to this final stage. So Shovel Knight, awesome fucking game. I will sing its praises for a long ass time because it's just a fantastic title. But they've got the very final world stage, whatever fuck you want to call it. It's called what is it, the Tower of Fate or some shit like that. So they've got one. You end up going through this, and they put you into a gauntlet against every single one of the night bosses that you fought up until that point, and you have to fight all of them with whatever health that you had at that point, and you have to beat all of them. They're full health, full repertoire of moves, and you have to beat every single fucking one of them. This stage is already ridiculously hard. On New Game Plus, even more challenging. Even if you are really good at platforming games, this shit is going to test your patience and test your skills. When you get to this, it is just, they're running a train on you. And it doesn't matter if Shield Knight shows up and she's trying to fucking help you out and everything and protect your asshole. No, it is getting caved the fuck in. And I think the one that ended up fucking me up the most was the really metal Viking-looking motherfucker who was dropping ice or snow or whatever the fuck it was. He, for whatever reason, was just ruining my day. It was just whatever movements he was using, and it didn't matter what the fuck I was picking. It always seemed like I was getting by with the skin of my teeth. I mean, eventually I did beat it. I beat the game on New Game Plus as well as normal, but Jesus fucking Christ, that is harder than everything in the game. The final boss isn't shit compared to that. The final boss is a fucking cakewalk. I'll be honest, a lot easier than I thought it would be. That, though, that's fucked up. And other games do that shit. They're like, okay, now you need to beat every single boss in the game, blah, 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 blah. And they do that kind of shit. This was one of the only times where I just started questioning myself. I'm like, can I do this? Can I do this without snapping the controller? Because I don't know. One of those where you want to start twisting the controller until like it's in two pieces, and now all of a sudden you feel like you're playing the Nintendo Switch, and you're like, yeah, that's great. Look at that. So it was, oh man. Oh, and the was the flying machine. That stage. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? You're pretty much just shovel bouncing, pogo sticking, and just whatever. But you're just pogo sticking your fucking way around, and then they've got that one move where you kind of just fly forward for a short amount of time, but you got things blowing you around, you've got cannonballs shooting everywhere, and it's like the airship battles in Super Mario Brothers cranked up to fucking 50. Yeah. This is like Spinal Tap, but just with SNK boss mentality. There, haha, reference. But fuck! It just, oh my god. Those two things that just made Shovel Knight so fucking hard. Everything else was easy as shit, though.
Honorable mention to, before we move on, honorable mention to Prince of Persia with the fucking duels and the shit where you have to have the exact timing on the goddamn buttons. I actually beat that game one night, and what a son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. It's like a career path beating that fucking game.
Now, are you talking about Sands of Time, or are you talking
original Prince of Persia, old school?
Oh.
That kind of stuff, man. It was always second guessing the distance of your jump.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there are some gruesome deaths in that game. Fucking spike pits and fucking you can fall like 5 stories onto goddamn spikes
and collapses into like a fucking pile. Like, ugh.
Yeah, no shit.
Dude, there's in Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy, fun fucking game. I always, even though it's a Super Mario Brothers game, I feel like it's underappreciated. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But Super Mario Galaxy, and this shit's optional, so some people can go and argue and debate about it. But they have the purple coins. So just like with other games, it's just optional shit you can go and pick up. But these stages for the purple coins, what the fuck? Some of them, there's certain stages where there's a bajillion of them and you're just going all over the place, and some of the power-ups you have to use for them are fucking horrendous. Other times they've got you timed. They're like, yeah, you got a minute. Go get all this shit in a minute. I have 60 fucking seconds to go and complete this, and they make it as fucking hard as possible. And it gets to the point, it's like, do I want to have, I forgot how many stars it has, like 250 or some
minus
shit.
5 stars. Sorry.
Oh my god, it's just so fucking hard. Mario Galaxy 2, I think, is more difficult, but I still remember in Mario Galaxy 1, that stuff, it made me want to just punch babies. Just oh, and an unknown game on NES called Werewolf. Cool fucking cover, cool premise, but this game. Oh, and there's actual links to it in old Marvel comics. It's kind of weird. You have to dive into it. Go on Hardcore Gaming 101 and just look up the shit about Werewolf. It's a neat ass game.
Werewolf: The Last Warrior. That the game with the werewolf with the swords for hands.
Yeah, that. I've only beaten the first stage once out of like a billion attempts on that fucking game. I don't get it. I do not fucking understand what you're supposed to do in that game. It is.
If you can believe me, the final boss in that game, he's a total pushover.
I find it, now, maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't. I find the hardest stage in those old NES platformers were the ones where it's like you're playing Operation, you can't touch the walls for some reason. Like Silver Surfer had that, you can't touch the walls. Or like The Dam in TMNT.
Yep.
The original TMNT.
Those
fucking kinds of stages. Fuck that noise.
Yeah, I actually did. Me and my friend Ryan were actually playing the original TMNT on NES one day, And we got to the dam part, and he was pretty drunk on whiskey and scotch at that point. So, and he was still getting pretty mad. He was like, because every time he died, he had to take a shot.
Jesus.
That poor guy. He was like, I don't think I can continue. I give up. He went and took a nap.
That's alcohol poisoning. That's what
his liver jumped out of his body and finished the stage for him.
This is what you do to your friends. I see.
I mean, look, the damn stage is all fucked up, but it's really the Technodrome. Like that. That's where the game's just like, I don't know who created that entire fucking thing. I don't know why they no, I might understand. They've got a lot of issues that they want to work out, and they were like, all right, well, I can't legally kill people, but this is going to get close.
My theory on TMNT for NES, having played it when I was frickin' 4 years old or whatever, I think they were looking to open a bottled children's tears factory. I think that's what they were looking for.
Oh, that reminds me of an NES game that I had called Wrath of the Black Man or something like that. It's a pretty obscure NES game, but I played it when I was like 6 or 7. The first level is actually a cakewalk, but the first boss is impossible. He is this 20-foot tall fat guy. You have to jump up, dodging every single projectile attack at him, and he throws like a bunch at you, and smack him in the chin with a shuriken. I remember after the 14th time he killed me, I just did this. I threw the controller down and walked over to the NES, pulled it out, and just threw it across the room, never to see it ever again.
And we should point out that
I went and found it at a flea market.
Oh, nice.
That's it.
We should point out that despite the fact that you could throw that at a wall over and over, you will eventually need a new wall before you need a new copy of the game, because NES games were built to take a beating.
Yeah.
Well, as hard as they are, they should, because I would destroy this game back when I was younger, and not in a way that I beat it. Just
they could even survive a nuclear meltdown, but it's okay. They were all taken out of Japan a few years ago.
I don't get why
that's the thing people don't understand. As we're talking about this, we should say this at the outset. Like, it wasn't. The thing is, when you were playing games back in the day, like nowadays, it's a given. If you buy a video game, you want to beat it every single time. That's why games are so easy now, because you kind of want the story more than just the gameplay anymore. Back in the day, it was not always a given that you were going to beat a game. Like you would own like 17 games, and you might beat 2 of them. You know what I mean? Because it was just how video games were then. It wasn't all about finishing the game; it was about playing it. Mm-hmm. Plus, there wasn't a save feature on a lot.
I have memories. I have very many salty memories of the Sega Genesis game Ranger X. That is a very accurate statement.
Yeah, dude, on Genesis, I still like. Everybody talks about how hard Contra is on NES. I can beat Contra on NES. Yeah. You know what I can't beat is Contra Hardcore on Sega Genesis.
That game will destroy you, your house, your friend's house, your neighborhood, your entire country, and then you might maybe get an extra 1-up at level 2.
It kills me because the Mega Drive version of it, way fucking easier. They're like, hey, you have a health bar. What the fuck is a health bar? What the fuck is a health bar? Everything in Contra Hardcore is just like, blip, you're dead. Blip, you're dead. Blip, you're dead. And guess what? Blip, you're dead happened a bunch within a very short amount of time. And it's like, I spawned. I'm flashing for a sec because I'm alive and back into it. Blip, you're dead. Did not matter. You were always done.
I actually heard a theory about why games were much harder in the United States than they were overseas. It's primarily because, like, in Japanese markets, renting games was illegal, but renting games in the States was a booming industry in the 80s and 90s. So to make people make sure they buy the games, or at least come back renting them time and time again, they made the games absurdly hard. That's just a theory that I've heard.
Well, there was a lot of games that I rented and I never ended up beating. Fuck it. Actually, it just reminds me, another hard game. I did manage to go and beat this, and I still say it's one of the hardest games that I ever completed. Ever. And there isn't like one particular level in this, but it's Catherine. All of Catherine is difficult. all of it. It does not matter what you're playing. There is no one specific level. The more that you progress in it, the more fucked up these stage designs get. The more that you're moving these blocks around, the more that you're ascending, and they just throw more shit at you. It is so fucking hard to beat. Worth it if you have the patience, but you will probably snap that fucking poor disc in two before you end up seeing any of the endings in it. It just... And I can't even go into Mega Man series. Like the Mega Man series, I don't think it's all that difficult once you know the order of the Robot Masters, except for Mega Man 1. The first Mega Man, that is fucking bullshit. That entire game. Goddamn.
I realize there's a game that nobody's brought up, and it's maybe because from the system where it comes from, or because it's been kind of derided as being this horrible, terrible game that no one should ever pay attention to. And maybe they're right, maybe they're not. But Metroid Other M on the Nintendo Wii was a game that stood to be something. And then they gave you this control scheme that at first, playing through it made it seem like, oh, well, this is kind of like a 2D Metroid game, and you go like this, and you can move around with it. And before too long, you're doing this goddamn baton-twirling fucking routine just to get the goddamn thing to be able... The final boss, you know, one of the Metroids, I think that's the final boss anyway, you have to go through this whole thing where you push the buttons like this, flip the thing around, shoot the goddamn thing, turn it over here, it turns into the zapper, and bing bang bong and all that, and before you know it, you have fucking arthritis.
The final boss of Other M, if I'm not mistaken, all you have to do is just point the targeting reticle at them, and if you can probably do it in like a quick second if you're fast enough.
Yeah.
Like you have like enemies coming at you or so, but
again,
and
you've heard
them,
that.
all you gotta do is
boy?
point it at them, and you're done.
If you didn't do it, boy, then I don't think you have room to stand. Anyway,
you keep calling him boy so much. I kind of wish he was black, just so.
Well, we're gonna call you.
Allegations.
Okay.
Wait, you wish someone was black? I heard otherwise. I've seen you on Twitter. Stand there and
my grandfather actually is like half black though.
Oh my!
Native American.
We're bringing diversity to the gaming masses. There you go.
That's what we do. That's what we do. And so those games were hard.
More diverse than a DNC meeting.
Well, those are just business people. They're all the same. But anyway, those were some really hard games. We talked about that for a month and a half now, and that's good because that's what you tune here into the 8-Bit Podcast for. And now we're going into the 8-Bit Ball Bag. 8-Bit Ball Bag. Everyone loves the 8-Bit Ball Bag. We got a great big question right here from Mr. Bob Tom. Bob Tom dropped us a line just a little while ago, and he says, "Hi, I'm Bob Tom." Hi, Bob Tom.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
He says, and I'm a new fan to your podcast. Well, welcome, Bob Tom. He says, just want to say real quick that I like what you do, and it keeps my spirits up while being stuck in college and having to listen to SJW bullshit every day. Well, I guess that's what happens in college. You know, you're not studying or anything.
I guess you would need some cheering up having two first names.
Yeah, not only that, and you know, that kind of lot in life, he has to come to this fucking program for cheering up. Jesus.
Yeah.
But he says, but at least I get to play Super Smash Brothers Melee with some people every now and then. I heard they do that in college, too. He says, my favorite is Samus. Oh, how about that? He says, so I just wanted to say thanks and also ask you a question. This is a very important question. I find that this is something I've wanted to know for a long time and is possibly more important than what is the meaning of life. Would you fuck the green M&M?
Well, I'll just get out of the way. Emphatically, yes. Yes, I would. I wouldn't even think twice about it. M&Ms are delicious. I just assumed that she would taste like chocolate, and that'd be awesome. The boots would have to come off, so that's about that. And yeah, I mean, I would plow her till she became a little M&M Cheerio. That'd be great. So I mean, somebody's got to, you know.
Somebody's got to speak up for the yellow peanut M&M. I say he's a tender lover.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I feel like the red M&M. He's got like a lot of repressed sexual urges. You can tell. Like, that dude's on edge all the time, very angry, but behind the scenes, I guarantee you, he's into a lot of fucked up shit.
And all anybody's ever going to talk about is how we talk about red men and yellow men on this program. Jesus H. Christ. Anyway, that's it. That's the Hate Bit podcast for this week. Thank you very much. You guys have been fabulous. Joining me to my left, all the way over there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Alpha Omega Sin. Say goodbye to the nice people.
Goodbye, and just know that we love you, even if we're going to talk about fucking M&Ms.
And we love M&Ms. Over to my right in Phoenix, Arizona, where they have no use for changing the clocks. Razor Fist.
Or for clocks at all. God fucking speed, ladies and gentlemen. We don't believe in time.
And our very special guest this week, way over there, and I don't know where the fuck you are, man, but BlueMagus.
Hopefully I didn't get on too many people's nerves, but I had a good time.
Hopefully you got on everyone's nerves. Fuck them.
Again? Dang it, that's like the 5th time this week. I gotta learn to stay off the internet.
I know.
Well, you know, what are you going to do? Also, don't forget, drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. Check us out on your Twitter. Subscribe, all that shit. We want you to remember that you guys are not so great, but we're the Hate Bit Podcast. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. And thanks for the subscribers, Rob.